Hello, my name is Caleb Johnson. I'm student admin here at Colorado Space Grant Consortium office, and today we'll be going over the Soldering 101 videos. For this first video, we will be talking about safety protocol and best practices, as well as some of our tools. Soldering is a process of melting metal filler to join pieces of metal, in this case for electronics or electronic purposes. First off, I got some jewelry on my hands and my wrists, so we're going to remove those because that is a best practice for when you're doing anything with tools or power tools. This is kind of a lower risk in terms of accessories, but it's never a bad thing to be safe. Next, as you can tell, I have such luscious locks, so we're going to tie this very long hair back just to keep safe, because we really don't want like the hair to get on fire, or for just really anything that could happen with your hair. We don't want a surprise haircut or have to go get a surprise haircut. But yeah, so as we can see, now my hair is perfectly safe and there's no reason to worry about getting burned. Next is safety glasses. For my purposes of this video, I'm going to keep my actual glasses on. If you have safety glasses that accommodate your actual glasses, I highly recommend wearing them. But if not, soldering is kind of one of these things that you're able to use your eyesight as long as you're nearsighted. If you're farsighted and you can't see close, then go get the glasses that help you. But we'll be putting these on, and now I'm ready to begin. Psych, actually, we have our ventilation system. In your space where you're doing your soldering, you need to make sure that you have proper ventilation. Solder is usually a lead-based component. So even if it's not though, when it vaporizes or the smoke that comes off of it, you don't really want to be breathing that in. We want to make sure your lungs are nice and safe, so just be careful about that. Now we'll actually familiarize ourselves with the tools. So we'll start off with a solder since I just picked that up. Solder is the material filler that we use to join the metal pieces for the electronics, and it is going to be the main part that we are using a lot of. Next, we have something called flux. This here we have it in a nice syringe here at Space Grant at Boulder, but we won't be using flux, but it helps for when most solder has a little bit of flux in it, and it helps to join the metals on the board when you're soldering metal together. This is just, hey, I ran out of flux and I need more flux. It's a useful tool. We won't be using it today though. Next, we have our solder sucker. So our solder sucker, you depress the plunger, and then you hit this and it sucks back. So let's say that I've accidentally messed up my joint here, and I'm heating it up in our handy tool here, right? So we have that. I have one hand with the soldering iron heating it up, and the other hand goes real quick, boom. Hopefully everything works out. Usually the solder sucker is perfect enough for this tool or for this task, but let's say that you just can't get that solder out of that little hole of the board. We do have another tool here called solder wick. And what you do with solder wick is you make sure the end is clear of solder, and then you place it again on the handy tool, put the solder wick on the hole, and then heat up where that point is over the hole, and theoretically and usually the solder will come out and go down the lattice of the solder wick, and it will be a very useful tool when you are in a pickle. As I mentioned a couple times here just recently, we have our handy tool, which helps hold different components. So I could put the board here, and then we'll use the power wire here as an example, but we'll put that there, and then we can put it like so, right? So now it's held, right? And now I can easily solder that hole, and then we're good. It's really helpful. Other than that, we have our brass wool. So when you're soldering, you're going to get gunk on the tip of the soldering iron. And you don't want to just like drag it across your map or your table or anything like that. You want to take it and you put it in there and give it a couple scrubs, come back out, look at it, looks good, cool, move on. We also have our snipping tool. So in this module, we're hoping to get Hershey's, and we'll talk about Hershey's in a second. But there'll be leads coming out, right? Like the capacitor has really long leads here. So there's going to be leads coming out, and we're going to take our snipping tool, and we're going to get as close to that Hershey as we can, and we're going to cut it. We'll show you how to do that again in a second. We have our soldering iron, which we've just showed you. Please be careful. It is hot. Its whole purpose is to be hot, and it can cause some pretty nasty burns. We also sometimes in this will be using, not in this module, but when you're using soldering irons, sometimes you need different tips, which are very useful. And then we have the mat. This mat is specifically made to not burn the table if I drop the soldering iron. And if any solder drops onto this, it will be fine. A lot of tables can't handle hot solder being dropped on it, even if it cools quickly. And finally, we have our power. So this is just loosey-goosey, and if it were to fall, it might rip the iron out of my hand, hopefully go on the mat, or it might go in my lap. And I don't really want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tactical adhesive tape, and we're going to make sure that these cords are secure to the table and not likely to horrifically burn me. And yeah, next we will plug in our soldering iron, and then we will be moving on to actually soldering our unit.